You know, every morning that we wake up, we get up and go to the mirror. And when we're preparing for the day, every time that we get up and look in the mirror, we're asking ourselves a question, whether we verbalize it or not, saying, who are we? Who do we need to be for the day? Do I need to change my outfit because of who I'm gonna be around? Do I need to adjust my calendar? Who do I need to be? Who am I? But that seems simple, and even if we never vocalize it, it's something that we're doing even with our actions. Who am I? Becomes not a simple question. It becomes more of a battle for many of us. The problem with identity is it doesn't get answered that simply a lot of times. It actually looks a lot more like this in the mirror of our lives. Maybe we start with our performance, and we see ourselves in there, and we think that we need to do better, and we need to do more, and we got to go faster. And we think that the applause of the people who are seeing our performance is where we need to root our identity in. So we base who we are off of how well we do. And then we move over from performance and we go to pain. See, pain hurts because of the rejection, because of the disappointment, because I think there's a space where pain makes us bitter, even if it wasn't our fault. And then we move on from pain and we go to mistakes and we say, wait, but that's a little different than pain, because I can think about the last time I said it was the last time, and I can think about when I missed it, and I can think about when I didn't make the team, and I can think about when I didn't get the promotion, and I think about when I made the problems and all of these issues, and I must be as good as my mistakes or as bad as my mistakes, and we move over from mistakes to expectations. Expectations, one word, they. Who are they anyway? We're living for they. We make, what are they gonna think, and what are they going to do if I move over here? What are they going to say? And we're making decisions and trying to live for likes of people who do not even like themselves, but we live for the expectations, and we move on from expectations to titles. See, not all titles are bad, like dad or mom or brother or sister or wife or husband. But then you got other ones that aren't bad either, but they start to cloud it all. You say executive and entrepreneur, and then you have pastor, and you have leader, and all of these different things, and then you have possessions. And you say, well, maybe I'm only what I can amass, what I can save. What about the cars? What about the degrees? What about the homes? And very quickly you see that you can see yourselves in the mirror, but the problem is you only see yourselves in the mirror when you move and look around the words and all of the labels and all of the titles, so you start to spiral. And then it becomes a whirlwind, and you're cycling out of control, looking for your identity, but then something happens, because you say, who am I? But something happens when you get into alignment with Jesus. See, when you get into alignment with Jesus, he rearranges some things. He moves some things around. He says you can come out of the reflections. You don't need any of the mirrors. You don't need any of the reflections. Why? Because you were made in my image. When you understand that Jesus is willing to rewrite narratives and move some things around, yeah, things have made you say, who am I? But he can readjust it, so then you start to say, I am who you say. It doesn't become a question anymore, family. You become certain. You get to walk in with confidence in the classroom, in the living room, in the courtroom, or the boardroom, because you understand who called you. Isaiah 62:2 says this, that you shall be given a new name that the mouth of the Lord will name. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful that I get to live a life where Jesus is the one who determines who I am. Not the labels, not the mirrors. I might look like my mama, but I'm made in the image of God. I don't know if anybody else is with me in here this morning to know that he called you. So then you don't have to worry about your name. You show up in those same spaces, the living room, the courtroom, the boardroom, and you say, well, who are you? Called. Who are you in the sick bed? Healed. Who are you? Forgiven. Who are you? Redeemed. Who are you? Confident. Who are you? Mighty. Why? Because he told me so. And I don't know about you, but that's enough for me. If he said it, I have to believe it. Is anybody in the room say, I've been living a subpar life because I've been following labels and looking around words in the mirror, and that's not who God called me. God called me a bunch of other stuff that had nothing to do with these labels. Some of those labels are nice. Some of those labels are good, but I want to live the way that God has called me. I don't want a subpar life because I'm following subpar labels. I want to follow the calling and the name of the Lord. Does anybody believe that this morning?